Hey everybody, Unstable Gamer here, and welcome back to Awaken Chaos Era. Today we're going to be talking about the newest patch notes that launched today, this morning, as of the recording of this video. We're also going to ask and answer the question from my point of view, should we recall Hakrin? I don't think we need to storm the castle yet, but let's go ahead and talk about it. But first, before we jump into all this, if you're just now finding this channel and you want to stay up to date with this and other games, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out. All right, and welcome back. Let's go ahead and just jump in here. I've been doing Queen's Stage 12 runs all day, really wanting to take a look at the changes that were made to Hakrin and the kind of impact it has on my runs. Prior to this, my runs were 100%. I'd be able to complete all 10 of them, and I didn't fail any. There's been a little bit of a change, but I don't think that we need to storm the castle just yet. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and let that run. A lot of great things happened in this update, so we're going to go ahead and walk through them. The hero recall, I think, is fantastic. This is an option where if there is a drastic rework done to a hero, it allows you to recall all your resources from them, which is awesome. I know just kind of playing so many games over the years when massive reworks comes and it really changes the compositions of your team and everything, and you got to rethink stuff. There's a lot of frustration from that because it just feels like a lot of wasted time was put into it. Now you got to put resources somewhere else. Now we're going to get those resources back so we can put them somewhere else, which I think is absolutely great. Great job from the devs. I like that. Current heroes available for Recall, Urzog, Hakrin, and Edicris. I can only see Hakrin in there, but that may be because I don't have the other two really built up, so that's probably why. The event, this one right here, so adjusted the reward tiering up system in web events. So the events that we have coming out, like collecting your gear or leveling up your gear, or starring up your heroes and things like that. As you completed those, once you've completed those, it would upgrade the difficulty of those events. So you could be maybe 4 or 5 different tiers. I don't know how it goes, but maybe you've completed 4 or 5 different times and it's increased in difficulty there. Whereas in other events, it stayed low. And so it looks like what they're doing is they're trying to make that even across the board. Now event reward levels will share across all event types. So if your level, let's just say, just for ease of explanation here, if you're level 5 on one event, you're going to be level 5 on all of them. One thing I was doing is, and maybe this was put into play to combat some of this, but I was purposely not completing some events because in certain events, I only wanted to get to a certain point and get that reward, and that was it. There's a bunch of them that I would always complete. However, there's certain ones that I would keep low, and maybe this was a way to combat that a little bit. I don't know what kind of grief that had on the dev side of things, but it seems that maybe that was put into play because of that. I don't know. That's just my perception. We go into the hero balances here. We got some great hero balances. Azrina got a nice buff, which is great. Dragon Lineage counterattack changed from 1 to all enemies now. That's fantastic. The basic there, chance to apply Ignite, increases from 50% to 100%, which is great. Ignite's been kind of one of those statuses that just is in the game. It's really not fantastic. So there we go. Maybe they're going to work on that a little bit. The ultimate here, chance to duplicate Ignite increases from 50% to 100%. So you're going to get more Ignites out, which does a certain amount of damage. So it is nice to see her get a little bit of a buff. Urzog got a huge rework here. So as you can see, the rework there. They didn't put rework next to Hakrin, but he's still available for recall. So Gladiator, Tenacity, the rework when attacking. Apply additional damage based on the difference of attack between this character and the target. When ascended, when attacking, apply additional damage based on the difference of attack between this character and the target, and gain 1 stack of block. I don't know a whole lot about block right now, but I'm sure we'll find more information out on that. I didn't even look in the game on that. We should see it in the game. It should be in there. Basic, right there, deal 120% damage to an enemy and applies unhealable for 2 turns. His special got reworked, deals 120 damage. This guy just got a lot of stuff. To all enemies and applies increased damage taken for 2 turns. His ultimate deals 200% damage to one enemy and applies no positive effects for 2 turns. Great stuff there. Hakrin we'll get to last. Edicris here, it looks like he got quite a bit of a buff as well. Refracting Prism when attacking, there's a 35% chance to launch a bonus attack. When successfully removing a positive effect, there's a 35% chance to launch a bonus attack. This would be great in PvP as well. Bonus attack deals 60% damage, and removal of one positive effect can be triggered twice per round, which is cool. So that's a good PvE and PvP buff right there. Ascended, grant this character ability immunity. Now, basic right there deals damage to an enemy and removes a positive effect. Blessing of Light, grant this character attack up and precision up for 2 turns. And bonus turn at the end of the round when successfully removing a positive effect, increases duration. You can see all that there. The ultimate elemental incendiary deals damage. Just a lot of stuff here to all enemies and removes 1 positive effect. So this guy really is a debuffer. Well, removal of, well, not necessarily a debuffer, just removal of positive effects. Hugh got a little bit of a thing, which is kind of his damage scales based on his speed. Marion Shadowblood, this was pretty cool. The basic, not really a huge rework, but did buff up the damage there a little bit, and they fixed some bugs there. A config error in Arcane Dominator Stage 10 and 11 of Guild Quests. And I think there was something, so I was doing, what was it? It was last week. We were doing our guild quests, and I was hitting, I think it was Tulpa 11 constantly, and it just was not giving me the credit for it. So maybe that was that. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's talk to Hakrin. How we doing? How we doing on our runs right here? So we've got 4. Where are we at? 0 losses yet. But we'll get back to kind of what I felt the change there is. Let's go ahead and talk about Hakrin. So right now, Ancient Guardian, team-wide defense bonus now will not include Hakrin himself. All right, so everybody else gets the same buff. Everything else there is great, except he does not get that buff, which makes him a little bit weaker. So you're going to want to put a little bit more into him if you want to keep him successful with your teams. I don't feel that you need to recall him. Just to answer that question, do we need to recall him? I don't feel you do. If you want to, if he just doesn't work for you anymore, obviously do what's best for you. But for me, he still works. However, my success rate, like I was talking about in Queen 12, is not 100% anymore. It has dropped a little bit, and I've noticed that he is taken out a little bit more than he used to. Well, he wasn't even taken out before. So that defense is not going to apply to him. And this ultimate, his totemic charge here, changed max health up to buff and can be dispelled. So this increases, the increase and decrease of max HP will be changed based on the target's current hit point. So the target's current hit point on that. Right here, I think kind of what they were trying to do is there was a question that was out on Discord. If we were to do a rework on Hakrin that impact PvP and PvP only, what are your thoughts? I really didn't follow the feedback on that, but it seems like maybe that's what they're accounting for. Just making him just a little more manageable when you go up against him in PvP, because now you can go ahead and you can dispel that totemic charge. Now, obviously, he's going to redo that. You get 3 maxes of 3, which increased your hit points, right? Your HP by 15%, so 45% total. Now he's going to constantly have to refresh that. So you're definitely going to want to max out. I can't remember, as you max out that skill, if it brings down how often you can do it, which turn you can do it on. But I know once everything's maxed, it's at turn 4. I don't know if it's any higher. If it's any higher, you definitely want to bring that down. Make sure you have that on turn 4 so that you can go ahead and keep spawning that, casting that buff there. So, it kind of sucks, but when you take a look at everything else in this update, I think everything else is absolutely fantastic. I think we got some nice buffs. I think we got some nice ads like the hero recall and everything. So I think they've got some great stuff. I love the fact that they're constantly reaching out to the community and asking their feedback, especially with Hakrin. They asked feedback on Hakrin, I think it was a few weeks ago before anything went into effect. So you knew something was coming, we just didn't know what. So great stuff here. Hakrin, I think, is still workable. I will show you the results of this battle, not this battle, but this full 10 run by the end of it, just to kind of put everybody out of their misery. I know I've been alluding to it. So on 10 runs, instead of being 100%, now I'm 70%. So typically I'm losing 2 or 3 battles. And this is running, I think, about 100 runs today. I've just been constantly running it. So 70 to 80% is my success rate where I have everybody right now. If you want to know where I have everybody right now, you can take a look at my free-to-play guide for Queen of Tides. I'll go ahead and link it up over here. I have buffed up the stats a little bit, but where I have that guide, that was the minimum of where I was able to get them, and I've been improving them. And really, this is the only team I've been working on. I know there's some other teams and stuff, but I really wanted to focus on the free-to-play teams, which also takes it takes me a while to get some content out when I'm so focused on free-to-play teams. But I'm rambling on there. There you go. Those are the patch notes. We have some great stuff. Hakrin, I think, is still doable. I'm curious to hear from you, though. Now that we've had today to take a look at it, if you've looked at him and how he works in your teams, how's he working for you? Is the nerf to him, is the rework to him okay for you, or has it completely demolished your strategy and you need to do something different? Definitely let me know in the comment section below. All right, everybody, that is what I had for you. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.